All right, so we're going to try this again. This is a little bit of a take two here, but thank you. This is now the NBA portion of the show. We're switching things over here, and I am joined alongside a special guest, Chris Dring. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I know we just tried this about 10 minutes ago, lost some footage, but we're back now.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and you know what? For a Super Bowl special, got to try some things out.
Of course.
Going off that, we're outside doing things a little differently now. So that's pretty fun.
I like it, though. I like it, though. It's cool. It's cool.
You know what? The weather's great. Wanted to enjoy it. So we're out here doing a little show and, wanted to provide some of that for you guys. So, Chris, as we were trying to start on the last portion, we had mentioned Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns. Incredible deal by Suns ownership. They just changed owners, and within 24 hours, they potentially have the best player on the planet.
Yeah, it's honestly still, it hasn't really sunk in yet.
It hasn't.
That the Nets just trade away, like you were saying, one of the best players, arguably the best player in the whole league, in the whole world. And obviously he's not playing right now, so we're not going to be able to see that till after the All-Star break at least.
Yep.
But I think, like we were saying before, I think this is the right move for the Suns.
Absolutely.
They should be in win-now mode, especially with Chris Paul being older, in his late 30s. They got Devin Booker. He's not really been healthy, but he's back. So, they have him. I just think that giving up some of their bench guys is really tough for them. But, the Nets did the same thing when they traded away everything.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. But I think this is going to be better than the Nets. This team is better than the Nets, 100%.
No, absolutely. And here's the thing. When you're making a deal for a guy like KD, it becomes anything goes. I mean, let's go over this whole Kevin Durant deal. The Suns obviously acquired KD and also TJ Warren, who was known for his incredible play in the bubble. And then the Nets ended up getting Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 picks. So those picks are going to be kind of tricky depending on really how they play down the stretch. So nothing's really set in stone with that. But I will say, credit to the Suns for going for it, because right now the West is wide open. No one really knows who's coming out of that conference, and they said, you know what, we're going to put our foot down. We're going to actually try to get in this race. Yeah,
honestly, I mean, like I was saying before, I don't think that they're going to win the title. I don't think so.
How come, though? Who do you have?
Okay, there may be a little bit of bias here, but I'm picking the Celtics to win the title.
I mean, that's okay, but that's fair. But who do you have coming out the West?
I got Denver coming out of the West.
You have Denver. You still like Denver?
I do, because Denver's built up a sizable lead right now, and I think, they did lose last night, but Jokic is the MVP. I don't think there's really an argument right now. This guy is just so good. I mean,
he's a beast.
I don't know how, I could go, I wouldn't pick Jason Tatum, but no, we can't. Jokic is just him. So, I still got Denver, but I do have Phoenix in that number 2 spot. I think just because they lost so many games with those guys injured, it's kind of too big of a gap right now.
Yeah.
But they are a force to be reckoned with in the West. I would not be surprised if they won the whole thing.
Yeah.
But maybe next year when they get a fresh start, maybe they can sign some guys in the offseason. That team's going to be really scary.
I mean, here's the thing. They're going to need to come together and really gel. It's the situation. Think about, the Miami Heat. Their first year together, they went to the NBA Finals, but they struggled because they just really weren't on the same page yet.
Yeah, exactly.
The big thing right now, it's not in terms of talent, because they have plenty of it. Because, they're loaded on other areas, too, besides just the big star players. But it's going to be a matter of, okay, can these guys work together? Can the offense flow? And if they can figure that out, they're going to be dangerous. So
exactly.
It definitely makes things tricky down the stretch. But, Chris, you mentioned you like the Celtics going forward.
I do.
I'm still here's the thing. As of late, things are looking a bit tricky. The Celtics right now are dealing with an injury bug. Jaylen Brown just had that really bad facial fracture, broken jaw from the elbow from Jason Tatum.
I didn't actually see that because it was, did it happen last game?
I think it was
against Philly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was working at the women's basketball game, so I was not able to watch that, but I did hear about it afterwards.
Yeah, so rough injury, and Marcus Smart's out right now. Tatum's questionable right now with some illnesses. This stretch right now for the Celtics is going to be kind of tough.
I mean, we can touch on them a little bit later in the show, but I feel like this shows how much Marcus Smart really means to the team.
Yeah,
because they've been struggling. It seems like with them, when they lose, they're going to lose multiple games.
Yes.
So when they win, they get really
they're on a tear.
hot.
Yeah,
it's just interesting. So if they can figure out get into a rhythm in the playoffs, I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, it's between them and the Bucks for the East. I don't see any other team competing.
No, absolutely.
Philly, no.
Philly is fake.
No,
I don't believe in them. James
Celtics
Harden
own Philly, man.
Yeah. But actually, speaking of all those teams, we mentioned the fall of like certain teams, like the Nets, man. They just fell off a cliff.
That was the biggest. I think that's one of. It's probably the biggest what if in NBA history.
James Harden, Kyrie Irving, KD only played 16 games together as a unit.
That's crazy. 16.
I believe they were 13-3 together, which is crazy. But just
what could have been
the whole vaccination situation with Kyrie, different injuries, it's crazy. Yeah. And everyone's just saying, like, if Kevin Durant's foot was an inch behind that 3-point arc, we might be having a completely different story right now.
Definitely.
Because those 3 seasons together, and all they get is a single series playoff victory. Sorry,
I think wasn't it against the Celtics when they they had I think Jaylen Brown was out for the season, and I think Rob Williams was out too, probably. They didn't even have their all their guys,
and then we get everyone back and we sweep them. So it's crazy how that happens.
Was crazy. Yeah, they had both their guys. They had KD and Kyrie, and we still swept them.
Yeah,
the Nets. I don't know what you do from here because it's like. You're not in a full rebuild, but you're not a good team. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
No, you're kind of middling right now. So I guess here's the thing. Like, you have good players, and I think that you honestly have a core that you could build with. I mean, you have what's the name of the guy? Cam Thomas, is it?
Oh yeah. Cam Thomas. Yeah. I mean, he's been balling lately.
Yeah, 3 straight 40-point games. So like they have talent. The big issue now is like Kyrie even said it in his press conference when he got to. Dallas, he ended up saying about KD getting out, he ended up saying, I'm glad he got out of there.
Yeah.
And that just makes me wonder what's going on in Brooklyn that's going to make people want to get out. And if there's like a bad situation over there, people don't like ownership management, that's going to really be tough to convince a future superstar, hey, I want to, spend the next couple years here. So that's the problem. I think that you have a team that you can build within Brooklyn, but it's going to be convincing that top-notch guy to come to you. Like that's going to be the problem.
Now, I mean, we saw 3 superstars go in and out and have their own time in Brooklyn, and obviously nothing happened. So it's just interesting because right now you got a lot of guys who are like good players, but not like you don't have any stars. Ben Simmons is not that guy.
No,
he's not the same player he was. It's like
I've always said this about Ben
sucks.
Simmons. I am not.
It really does.
I have never been a Ben Simmons guy, and it's so funny that
me neither.
I don't feel like he's ever tried. Like, I really don't. Because so many guys that don't have a jump shot, they figured it out. Andre Drummond learned how to shoot from distance, and people literally used to foul him at the end of games because they knew he couldn't shoot.
Oh, man. But if Ben Simmons could shoot, he would be a much better, when he was in Philly, like, his aggression
here's the thing,
in Philly and
I'm not asking him to be
shooting would be amazing.
But here's the thing, Chris. I'm not asking him to be Steph Curry from behind the arc.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not asking you to be that. I'm not even asking you to be, like, somewhat competent at it, but just take the shots.
Exactly.
The problem with Ben Simmons is people see him get the ball at the top of the key, and they just flood the paint because they know he's not going to shoot.
It's just back up.
Yeah, they literally know he's not going to shoot the basketball, so it just completely takes away an element of your game.
Yeah.
If at least if you're just chucking something up there, it's going to make the other teams think about it, and he doesn't even do that, which is pathetic. So.
That's honestly sad though.
That's the one downside about Brooklyn that's going to be really bad moving forward. So
it's just interesting.
And I'll say this:
roster.
that's a tough contract to move. I don't think you're going to be able to get out of that
max deal, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not sure actually,
brutal.
But I'll just say this: you're not getting out of it.
It's pretty darn close to a max deal. Yeah,
it's going to be tough to get out of. But Chris, obviously the other part of the big collapse of the Brooklyn Nets is the trade of Kyrie Irving. He went to the Dallas Mavericks, which, frankly, I thought that was going to be the story of the NBA trade deadline.
I did too.
And now it seems so minuscule. That's the thing.
Oh, man.
It seemed like it was going to be, Kyrie Irving to Dallas. Like, that's the big move here. But instead, but KD obviously overshadowed that. But it's still a big deal. You have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic now pairing up down there, and it makes the West very interesting now. What do you think about that dynamic duo?
Well, actually, I believe that tonight is going to be the first game playing together on the court. Wow. So that's going to be interesting because Kyrie played, but Luka was out with some injury last game. And, well, Dallas ended up winning that game.
Sure.
I don't know if that really says anything about because they haven't played together.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to the Lakers. I really did. I didn't want him to go to the Lakers. No, I thought he was going there.
I mean, LeBron James thought he was going to the Lakers.
I thought he was going there because they were going to make a desperate move, and they were going to give up that the first-round pick that they don't want to trade. They were going to give that up. They were going to give up a few role players maybe to try and get him, and then try to get him in the offseason because he's on an expiring deal, obviously. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see this. I think this is a good move for Dallas because – people have been saying for the last year or two, get Luka some help because they made the Western Conference Finals. Their second best player was Jalen Brunson. I like Jalen Brunson, but he's not.
He's not a two.
Exactly.
Well, and not even a two. He's just he's not a dynamic duo piece. Like you need a guy that.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
You need someone who's like Luka's equal, which is tough to find. But I think they got it in Kyrie. The only problem now, the only thing I have a problem with, it's not going to be how Kyrie and Luka are going to play together. I think that playing-wise, if they're on the court doing their thing, it's going to be fine. The big concern is Kyrie going to find his way to, spoil another franchise? That's the thing.
Man, honestly, I don't think he's going to do I don't think he's going to have anything major, at least in the first at least the rest of this season.
Sure.
Because I think the dude's just kind of I just want to hoop, I just want to play. I feel like he's done with all this drama because he's dealt with so much drama and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think this team. I just don't know how they're going to play together in the playoffs. Are they both going to show up? What's going to happen there? I think this team definitely can make it to the championship. I don't think they will though.
Yeah, I mean,
with Phoenix now,
yeah,
it's just tough to pick them. But if I'm Dallas, I think this is a good. Something that they did to try out. I think this is definitely something that could work.
I mean, here's the thing. Even if Kyrie's only a rental, it does show that they're willing to, actually put someone behind Luka. So
definitely, yeah.
Whether this means
they care.
Whether this means a long-term deal coming up or if it just, sets something up down the future, I'm excited for it because I definitely want to see Luka succeed.
I do too.
He's such an exciting player. Basically, is Larry Bird reincarnated, and it's so much fun to watch. And I really hope
he's incredible, man.
Yeah, and I really hope he can have some success down the line in these playoffs.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned about we had talked about Kyrie possibly going to the Lakers, and I mentioned LeBron having that having a say in it. He posted, I think, on Twitter or something, and he ended up saying, "Is it me?
Maybe it's me."
Yeah, maybe it's me.
Man.
But that was obviously a crazy little scenario going on there. But speaking of LeBron, obviously we just had him break the NBA's all-time leading scoring record, previously held by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Said it just the other night. It was a crazy game. He needed 36 points to get it. He got it at will, and it was incredible.
Yep. I mean, congrats to him.
Yeah. Listen, I'll say this. I'm a LeBron hater. I am a LeBron hater.
I would probably consider myself to be that as well.
Yeah.
Because
but you got to give the guy credit where it's due. I mean,
this is crazy. Incredibly talented.
Family man wise, he seems like a solid dad with his kids. He's always talking about them being his starting five, and so credit to him. He's a great player.
Yeah.
But do you consider him the GOAT?
No,
you don't.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. Because I know some people were saying
number two though, for sure.
This is what I'll say now. So I still consider Michael Jordan to be the greatest basketball player of all time. And I know people that are saying oh, you're just stuck in the past, you can't see past this. And listen, if you had told me if you had said hey, 4 years ago, do you think LeBron's the GOAT? I would have been like, no way.
No. It's definitely closer though. It's closer than
I'll say this.
Think.
With LeBron getting this record, it definitely legitimizes people. I can understand people more for them saying oh, I think LeBron is the GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. But
yeah,
I think you can legitimately say you have a case now. And while I understand, people might say, well, it's just because he stuck around and he played, longer. I understand that, but it is a record that's stood for 40 years.
Yeah.
So to break that, it's impressive.
It is. And honestly, I mean, all of the advanced stats favor Michael Jordan. If you look at, Michael Jordan, I think he has, 9 scoring titles or something crazy like that. LeBron's not even close to that. Well, Michael Jordan was just so dominant in his era that if he played longer, he would have won. If he didn't just retire and then retire and then come back, it would have been a whole different story.
Absolutely. He retired for 2 years in the middle of his prime.
I feel, I mean, like, I wish that I was alive to watch him play.
Yeah.
I really do. And, I've seen the highlights. I've seen the stats. Like, he is the greatest basketball player of all time in my eyes. But LeBron, I feel like there's a difference between the best and the greatest.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see it as that way too, but like LeBron is very talented. He can put up a lot of stats on any given night. But Michael Jordan, 6-0 in the finals, he is a winner. And
and the thing I'll say about
that's it.
And I'll say this about LeBron too. Obviously, a great defender, but Michael Jordan had multiple DPOYs.
Yeah.
As a guard, and I know that we just saw Marcus Smart do it this past year, and people, him, self-proclaiming himself, I'm the DPOY, but for doing all this, it is it's pretty crazy.
It is.
For what he did, it was incredible, and people don't think about that nearly enough.
No, I mean, and LeBron might be in the league for a few more years. We got to appreciate his greatness while he's still here. Like, I respect him as a player in some ways. He's very talented, but he's not one of my favorite players. Definitely not.
Definitely not. He sent my Celtics home too many times for me to consider that. So, obviously, congratulations on that. And LeBron, he's going to be getting some help out in LA because they just made a trade of their own. They acquired D'Angelo Russell from. Where is he coming from now? From Minnesota?
From the T-Wolves, yes.
I figured, yeah. He's been all over the place since he left the Lakers, but
yeah, I think he was in Golden State. He was in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
At one point, he was. I thought he was going to be really good when he was in Brooklyn. He was. He made the All-Star team one year, and I was like, man, like this guy might be the real deal. Yeah. And then some stuff happened, and he's just not the same player he was.
No, but he's still a very quality player.
He is.
He's still putting up numbers, and now he's going back to the Lakers where he started his career. Started off as the ice in his veins. That whole thing. And, obviously kind of got sent away from the Lakers because of some things with Swaggy P and Nick Young.
But, yes.
But that is
Nick Young's no longer around.
Yeah, Nick Young is no longer around. He doesn't have to worry about any of that anymore. So I think this is going to be a great move for them. I think that D'Lo as a player, I think he'll mesh really good with LeBron. And the other thing too is they got rid of Russell Westbrook. They got rid of Russell Westbrook, and that's the sad thing because. We grew up when Russell Westbrook was an MVP candidate, going to the finals with Kevin Durant when he was super young, and now people are just calling him a bum and saying that he's washed up. It's sad. It's sad to see, but
it really is. But I feel bad for the guy.
I do too,
man. And what's sad?
Yeah. What's really sad is I saw Brian Windhorst. He basically said that if the Lakers didn't end up trading Russell Westbrook, they were considering sending him home because apparently they're saying that he's a problem in the clubhouse and that they're just not meshing and I heard one person say he's like a vampire. I'm like, what is going on?
I have not heard that one.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty bad, and I don't know what is causing it, but it's bad.
I don't know, man. The whole story is just kind of sad. I know his wife has come out and said that they've had some bad interactions with fans. Some fans have said some horrible things about him and his family. It's really sad. I like Russell Westbrook as a player. I have nothing against the guy. He's just sometimes he's made some bad decisions. He's taken some bad shots, and he just gets clowned on it because he was a former MVP, and he's just on a huge contract, and he has high expectations, and he's just not the same player he was.
No, it's just a thing that happens with time.
Yeah. I don't know. The Lakers, they're not championship contenders. I see people saying that just because they got I said no.
No, that's not changing.
They might make the play-in. They're 13th, I think, still. I don't know. I did want to say one thing, though. Shout out my man, Cole Swider, played last night. Now, Cole Swider is a two-way player, and he's from my town in Portsmouth.
Oh, my God.
He went to Syracuse, and he went to Villanova. He went to Villanova first. Then he went to Syracuse, I believe. And so it was just kind of cool. He was playing defense on Giannis, and he was not even playing in garbage time. And it was just kind of cool to see him out there because he literally lived down the street from me, 5 minutes. And it's just, I don't know. It's just really cool seeing some guy from your hometown play in the NBA, especially right now because of their roster being so, thin for a few games because they got to get all the new guys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just cool.
No, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry for a second. I was putting on some sweatpants because it's getting a little chillier out here.
Yeah, it's pretty windy here. I don't know. You can probably see the camera's been moving around a little bit because of the wind, but it's still a really nice day outside.
Yeah, we're making the best of it. So.
Exactly.
But you know what? Obviously, it's been there were some other crazy moves going around the league. You want to highlight some of those, Chris?
Man,
because I mean,
there were a lot.
I mean, there were some smaller moves too, guys. So I know Jay Crowder got sent up to Milwaukee immediately after going to Brooklyn. So that's a smaller move, but I like it. I do.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I was hearing Jay Crowder to the Bucks rumors a couple weeks ago, maybe even months ago.
Yeah.
And so he's a good guy for he's been in the league for a long time. He's been on a lot of good teams. I mean, he was on the Suns obviously when they were in the playoffs. He was on the Heat when they were in the finals. Like, I don't know. I think that he's a good guy for them to get. And so, but I just think the amount of second-round picks traded yesterday was crazy. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to say this. Second-round picks in the NBA don't mean squat. You're right. You're right.
In the NFL, a second-round pick is a very serious piece. It's like it's like this guy could be something. But in the NBA, there's only a select number of guys that are really going to be studs in each draft. So by the time you get to the 50th, 60th pick, most of these guys may not even ever get to the league.
No.
And it's just a useless, it's just a token at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have guys like Jokic, and Draymond Green, and
absolutely.
guys like that, but that's just so rare.
It's very rare.
It's so rare.
It's very rare.
Most of those guys that are drafted in the second round usually end up in the G League, or they sometimes they don't even make it to the season.
And really, if they even break into the NBA, they're just a role player.
A two-way player, probably.
Yeah, they're really not making it. You need to be a very high caliber, high draft pick to really even have a shot. Like that's the thing. What it is now.
Well, so I mean, obviously yesterday we saw some moves besides the ones we talked about. There weren't any star players that were traded, but some notable guys. James Wiseman got traded to the Detroit Pistons, and Sadiq Bey got sent to the Hawks, I believe.
I saw that too.
So that was a pretty notable trade. Eric Gordon got traded to the Clippers. I was waiting for him to get traded. I honestly felt bad for him because he was kind of stuck in the rebuild.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean, because he was there when the Rockets were popping. He was there when the Rockets were
he was
great.
there. Yeah, he said he was there for 7 seasons in Houston, and so another guy. You just got to feel for him, man. John Wall.
Oh, jeez.
I feel bad for him.
I really do.
He's come out and spoke and said that he did not like it when he was in Houston because they wouldn't even let him play for a season because he was on a horrible contract. They wouldn't let him play because he did not fit their timeline. And it's just really sad, man. He got his chance in the Clippers. He got injured, and then they traded him again. It's tough, and he's probably going to get bought out, and I don't know if anyone's going to sign him. Yeah. I really don't. And so I really hope he does because he's been through a lot in his career, but this might be the end for John Wall. I don't know.
It seems like he's kind of having a Carmelo kind of situation right now.
Yep.
Where
it's a good comparison.
Well, this is the thing with guys like Carmelo and John Wall, where these are former superstar guys that may not be at the top caliber anymore.
Yeah.
But they still have, and I'm not saying this about John Wall or even Melo, but they still carry that all-star pedigree. They're going to be getting all those interviews and stuff like that. And sometimes teams just don't want to take that on for a guy that's not producing for them.
No, and sometimes, the NBA is a business, and you just have to make the decisions, and it's just tough. I mean, another trade I thought was funny. The Lakers traded Patrick Beverly away again.
Yeah. Did you see what happened when D'Lo got traded? Pat Bev went on Twitter and he posted a photo.
Yes, I did.
And,
my God!
And he ended up saying, "Oh, we're gonna be reunited. This is so great." And bam, he goes to where did he go again? The Magic?
He went to Orlando, but he's gonna get bought out.
Yeah.
I heard he might go to the T-Wolves again.
Okay.
I heard there might be a little reunion going on there.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Obviously, there's the famous clip of him throwing his jersey in the sand after the playoffs. And it's just funny because they won the play-in tournament, and then he acted like he won the finals.
You would have thought he broke Kareem's record.
Exactly. Yeah. He was so excited, man. Oh my gosh, he was ready to just So that's gonna be interesting. But you know what? It's just crazy. Almost every team was involved in some trade during this deadline, and it's honestly crazy the fact that that's true. But
another team too I wanted to bring up quickly was the Golden State Warriors.
I was just thinking about that.
They just got Gary Payton back.
I can't believe they got him back
again. And he signed a pretty solid deal with the Portland Trail Blazers.
Probably.
And he's only averaging 4 points right there, but the Warriors know how to use him. They know exactly how he's going to fit in that rotation. So that's another great move for Golden State.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just like not really thinking about them this year. I know we were talking about the Suns. You were mentioning the Nuggets, but don't discount the Warriors. As long as they have Steph Curry performing, like we saw how he gashed our Celtics, so it's always possible.
See, the Warriors are an interesting team. I don't think they're going to do well only because of injuries. Like they're just struggling with injuries right now. Steph is hurt again, and Klay's been inconsistent. He had like a really big game last week at one point, but he's just really inconsistent. I don't like Jordan Poole at all. And Draymond is, Draymond, you know what you're going to get from him.
Oh, yeah.
But Gary Payton was a huge part of their playoff run. He was underrated in the playoffs. His defense was something that helped them a lot against the Celtics.
Oh, yeah.
He was a killer. He's like one of those guys, it's like the Celtics killers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just tough. So if you're a Warriors fan, I'd be really happy about that.
Absolutely.
But the Blazers, we can just kind of touch on them a little bit. Dame is still there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Still.
His name's in trade talks every year. And I honestly feel bad for the guy. But at the same time, he's the guy who wants to stay there.
Yeah, he says he wants to stay in Portland, which,
I don't know.
Credit to him. I mean, that is some loyalty.
Exactly. Like, there are only a few guys nowadays that stay on the same team. Giannis, Steph Curry, and you got him.
Yeah.
There aren't many other guys that stay on the same team. I mean, I guess you can say Booker, too. He's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
But obviously, we were saying earlier, the NBA is a business, and these guys, they move around. They do. The Blazers, honestly, they got, I think it was Matisse Thybulle. They got him, and they got someone else, too, I forgot about. But nothing major. Nothing major. And I don't see much happening for them in the future, unfortunately. Dame's, as much as I hate to say it, Dame's not winning a ring.
No. Not in Portland. He's going to have to get traded elsewhere.
I don't know. He made the All-Star team. He's got a couple good seasons left in him, I think.
I think so.
Dude, I would say I like when players stay loyal. He might have to give it up. I don't know what you think, but
I think he got it, man. Like he reminds me a lot of Joey Votto. I in terms of crossing sports, where people don't realize in terms of statistically, Joey Votto. I've heard some people call him like the Ted Williams of our time for how productive he was when he was in his prime. But the only problem is he's on an irrelevant franchise in the Cincinnati Reds.
Weren't they like the worst team? Like one of the worst teams?
They're terrible. But the thing is,
I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I know who I know who he is.
Oh, Joey Votto, great player. Former All-Star. And the only thing that I've always wanted him to get is that championship, but he's never going to get it in Cincinnati. And I was just like, I wish they could trade him, but he's also on like a gargantuan contract. Like that's the problem too.
It's tough when it really is like hard when guys are on contracts that when you give it to them and then 2 years down the line they start falling off. It just sucks, man. Like there are a lot of guys like that.
It does.
Obviously you've seen Russell Westbrook, John Wall, all these guys, Ben Simmons. Simmons is that's probably the biggest example right there.
Yeah.
And it honestly sucks, but it's not everyone's going to get a ring.
No.
Melo didn't get one, and he probably won't unless he comes back on like a veteran minimum on a championship team because he's not on a roster right now.
No.
I don't think Dame's getting one. Like, there are just some guys, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It wasn't meant to be.
Chris, I see as we look across the pond, people are throwing. You guys obviously can't see this, but we had the 160th anniversary of Bryant University, and we had this big ice sculpture, and right now people are throwing it into the pond. So that's our point of view right now. So that's really something.
Yeah, I mean, campus is active right now. People are walking around, throwing the lacrosse ball around.
It's great. I mean, it
is great.
When I walked out my door this morning, I was just like, you know what? Today's a short stay, and it was great. I was walking up to work, and it was awesome.
It's not bad, man.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Man. Hopefully the weather just continues to get warmer. I'm really hoping for it.
So I guess the last point here we were talking about is the Celtics.
Yes,
obviously. So they made one trade at the deadline. Well, just going back, if I was gonna say every trade, we'd be here all day. So
oh my god,
that was really like the biggest ones. I probably missed like one or two, but that's really it. But I guess we can just talk about the Celtics. They only made one trade. They traded for Mike Muscala from the Thunder for Justin Jackson in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you said it earlier, the 2 seconds don't really mean much.
No.
Justin Jackson doesn't play except if we're up or down by like 30. So, it's a decent trade for him because they need another big man because You got guys in and out of the lineup all the time. Rob Williams is a little injury prone, but he makes his team so much better defensively. And I don't really know much about Mike Muscala. Like, I knew who he was. I don't really know much about him.
I'll say this: I've heard the name Mike Muscala before, and the only reason I have is because back in the day I used to grind on like 2K franchises, like doing the fantasy thing. And I remember, like, he was like one of those guys you could pick up in like free agency, and I would pick him up and I just have him on my bench. and like, you know how in 2K if you like play it with a guy a lot and he's productive, his overall goes up. I think I was able to get his overall up to like an 85 or something because I was doing stupid stuff with him and it was working. Yeah. So that's the only real. He's
been in the league a long time apparently.
Yeah, he has. I think it's like what, 9 years or something.
I think so. Yeah, like 9 or 10. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what teams he played for, but I did hear that he's a good shooter though. Like he's a big man who can shoot like like 40% ish, like around there.
That's solid.
Which is good for them because we got Sam Hauser and we got my man, Peyton Pritchard. I might be like one of the only people on this planet with a Peyton Pritchard jersey.
Fair.
Got a $50 authentic at the Garden.
Is it a legitimate Peyton Pritchard?
It is.
Okay, I was about to say I didn't know if it was a Kyrie jersey with duct tape on the back.
I know one of my friends has one of those actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's got it, but I've seen it on campus. So yeah, but I got a killer deal at the store. It was like $200 off at the Garden. They were getting rid of him from his rookie year. I got the banner jersey, the authentic. Cool. So I got it for $50.
Wow.
It was $250. I said I can't pass this up, man.
Yeah, that's a steal.
I've never seen a deal that good for a jersey before. It's just
honestly,
crazy.
man,
awesome.
being in college, that's one of those jerseys you see someone wearing it at a party, and it just goes, all right, man, what's your story? Like, how the hell did you find that thing?
I've never seen another one of it. I've never seen someone else have that same jersey. Like, yeah, I got a lot of jerseys. I don't know if you've seen anything, but I got a lot of them, and that one's probably like probably my rarest one because I've never seen another who has a Peyton Pritchard authentic. Like, I have no idea.
I've never seen it.
So they almost traded him. I think, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say this, I think he's going to leave in the offseason.
I think he already said he's planning on. Not that he's planning on leaving, but I think he already said that he thinks he's probably just not in Brad's plans, which sucks because I like him as a player. But
I do, but I get it.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, he wants a bigger role, and we got guys like Malcolm Brogdon that are just taking his role.
Yeah,
and I don't know, him or Sam Hauser. They should choose between the two of them.
I agree
if they want to do that, but I wish that they could keep him because sometimes he can really catch fire.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. So what do you think about the Celtics recently? I know we kind of touched on it earlier, but
I mean, I'll say this: when they're competing, like they're the best team in the NBA. And, like, when they're healthy, like, I truly believe that they have the ability to win the championship this year.
Yeah, definitely.
More so than last year, too. Like, that's the thing. Because of the addition of Brogdon and everything that they're doing.
I love Brogdon, man. I wanted them to trade for him for so long. Yeah. And they did it.
And I think that and I think now that they have that experience of getting to the finals, you know, having that tough loss with Golden State, I think they now have it in them to get over the hump. I really think that. And we saw them compete against Golden State, and, you know, they handled them. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting because it seems like they have a tough matchup against a couple teams in particular. Golden State's one of them. Denver is another one they don't match up well against.
Sure.
For some odd reason, the Magic, even though we don't have to worry about them. The Bulls usually give us some trouble as well, and the Cavs. The Cavs, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of concerned about the Cavs because they can catch fire, obviously, with that with the addition of Donovan Mitchell this season.
Yeah,
but you know, it seems like we always beat the Sixers. We always beat the Nets every year. The Bucks can go either way.
Yeah,
that's the team that I'm concerned about the most.
Yeah, the Bucks are obviously going to give you fits. I do agree with the thing on the Cavs though, because you know you have Jared Allen at center, and like he's
one of my favorite players, man. I love Jared Allen,
and that's the thing where like. You know, while the Celtics do have good size, they don't have a true center that can really go to battle with an Embiid, with that guy, with Giannis.
Well, Rob's there, but
he's under.
The offensive end is not.
Yeah,
you know?
and I'll say this: defensively, Rob's great. Like
one
of
the best.
I mean, he's the best in the league. But size wise, I just don't know if he can be that guy that just like toe to toe, like offensively too, like because. You want someone inside to impose their will down there, because if you don't, like that's an issue too.
Yeah. And honestly, I like this roster as it is right now. Like with the Celtics, I don't think we needed to make any major moves. I was waiting to see if Brad will do something, but I like the roster.
Yeah,
I do, and I'm so glad that we didn't trade for KD. If we trade for KD, I would have been so pissed.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a need for that. Jaylen Brown's like 9 years younger than him or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Why would we need to do that?
Well,
I don't get it.
Well, let me raise this question to you.
Yeah.
If you knew Jaylen Brown would not sign a contract after 2024, he'd be out, and you're going to lose him for nothing, would you have made the deal?
Well, if I knew that we were going to lose him, of course.
Yeah, would that change your mind? Well, that's what some people are saying. They don't know if Jaylen Brown wants to be his own guy. They don't know if that's the case.
I don't know. I could maybe see it happening.
Yeah.
But I think that he's found so much, I don't know. I mean, like, thinking about the idea of him just leaving is just tough for me. I mean, he's just had a lot of
I don't
good
know,
things happen here. He's had a lot of success.
I agree, but he's also just been accustomed to being, you're Jason's sidekick.
Well,
and
sometimes he does better than him, though.
I agree.
Like, there have been times where you can argue, like, okay, Jaylen Brown might be the better player here.
No, in the finals you can make that case.
Oh my God! Oh, Tatum folded in the finals last year.
And I know he had a shoulder injury, but no, I do agree with you that sometimes Brown steps up when Tatum doesn't. But at the end of the day, Tatum just athletically is the more talented player. You have the potential is higher with Jason Tatum than Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
So I just don't know if Brown is going to be kind of, a little salty, kind of a little bit, jealous of that, and he's going to say, all right, he might just say, you know what, I want to go to a team like the Knicks or something like that, and just have the city of New York rooting.
Oh man.
But I don't know. That can sometimes just be a guy's mentality where it's like, you know what, I want to go to a big market and have people go to the stadiums to cheer for me, not my teammate, me. Like that's the thing. I want my jersey to be the number one in team sales.
I mean, I didn't really think of that, to be honest with you, and I don't know. If I were to take a guess, I'd say he's going to resign. You said after 2024.
I hope he does.
Next season, after is it after next season? Or
yeah,
this
2024.
Season? Okay,
he's got another year.
It depends on what happens this year. Sure. If we're like a second round exit, I can maybe see that happening.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never really thought of that idea.
The only other thing too is, could he be getting kind of pissed now from hearing all these Jaylen Brown's in the KD rumors? Like that could be something too.
That was a big thing last year. That was a big conversation.
Because if I'm him, I
don't know.
I'd be like, why am I always the trade chip? Why is this like? If I'm him, I might just be like, you guys have no loyalty to me. You just see me as like a DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard kind of situation. Like which I don't see Brown as that kind of player, but he might see himself not being valued.
I don't see that happening.
Sure.
Because I think at this point he made the All-Star game. He's improved this year. Brad knows, and the fan base knows, that he is a star.
Yeah.
And this duo has done really well together, at least this year. Like last year, losing the finals to me, I wasn't mad because we weren't supposed to win.
No.
I don't care about the ESPN graphic. We weren't supposed to win.
No, we were not.
So I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was. But I was like, this team has a lot of upside.
Absolutely.
And we got even better this year with Brogdon. I'm so glad that Derek White's on the team, except I hate when he shoots threes sometimes. It sucks from the three-point line. But he was a great addition. Brad knows what he's doing. He's got a vision. And Marcus Smart, I honestly have to apologize to Marcus Smart because at one point I wanted to give her to him. I'm like, get him off the team. He's hurting it more than he's helping it.
Sure.
But he's taken that step up this year, and I gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
He's been a lot better than for this team than I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, he has. So I mean, credit to them.
Yeah,
I like them moving forward. If they're healthy,
I do.
Here's the thing: Brown's got to get back from the facial fracture. They got to get back in shape. If they are all healthy come playoff time, I like the Celtics. I really do, and I think that they're going to. This is the best shot that they have had since 2008.
Oh, 100%.
So they have to take advantage of it here, and I really hope that they can cash in with a finals appearance and victory this time around.
The 2018 team was, I think,
that team was fun.
I wish they made it to the final. I wish they did. I was disappointed when they lost to LeBron because the Cavs got swept too. That was the worst. I was like, oh, this could have been us, man. This could have been us. But, and the same thing with the Suns. Like, if KD gets hurt, if Booker gets hurt, Paul gets hurt, they might not even be nearly as good.
Yeah,
we just gotta see how they do. I don't know. So Celtics are my pick. I'm locking it in.
I like to hear it.
Yeah.
So obviously, Chris, we're going to start to wrap this thing up now. Obviously, it's getting a little bit chillier outside
unfortunately,
now. But we are now down to the wire, which means that we're going to wrap up what we talked about in this episode and send you guys on your way. I've got some people walking around campus right now. What's up, dude? You want to come on the podcast real quick? Oh, shoot. Go ahead, man.
Getting people like on the spot here. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's something we might want to do in the future. Do some man on the street stuff. This is a little test run. So
this is something that you could try to do this in like throughout the spring, like maybe in about like I would say like a month or so, like after March break. You can definitely get this going. Like
I think so.
This might be like a weekly thing.
I wouldn't mind that. But
obviously this is your show. But
yeah, I mean, hey,
I think this went well.
You're always welcome on, man. So
I appreciate it.
But yeah, so for those of you guys who were here for the first part, we did a whole Super Bowl special with Adam Wright of the Fumblerooski Podcast and all those guys. We went through a whole bunch of things from just everything with Super Bowl 57, and then we got over here to the outside portion of the podcast with Chris. We went through Kevin Durant to the Suns, Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks, D'Lo back to the Lakers, and a lot more. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, it's at down.to-the-wire. You can then find a link for all of the other places you can access the podcast, like Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. And Chris, I know you have a show too. If you want to shout it out, go ahead.
I do. The Dawg Talk is every Thursday at 5 p.m. And actually, this Monday, I might be doing a special interview with someone who plays for one of the sports teams here. And I went to middle school with him, and I've been trying to get him. I finally tried to get him on. And so I'm excited. I don't know exactly when it's going to be yet, but next week, probably Monday.
Good stuff.
So tune into that. And obviously tune into our regular Thursday show with me, Aiden Silva, and Carter Santos.
Nice.
We talk sports, we talk Bryant's student life, and we've been doing these. I don't know if you guys do this on here, but like the drafts of random things like food and all that stuff.
That's cool.
So we did like a snack draft yesterday. It was fun.
Nice.
I've been having fun with that. So tune in. And Brian, thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely, man.
I enjoyed it.
We're gonna get in the sun now. Enjoy this, and send you guys on your way. So from Down the Wire, I'm Brian Costa.
And I'm Chris Dring.
We hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care, and peace out.